This video is sponsored by G-Portal. Stick around to the end for more on that. Something interesting slipped under the radar of the recent, highly controversial ARK roadmap, a new canonical DLC for the game releasing in Q4 2023. That is all we got, besides the fact that it will come with 4 new creatures upon release. In asking the community what this could possibly be, there was a consensus among ARK lore nerds. We know what this DLC will likely be, and in this video I'm going to spill the beans on our theories. This video will contain major spoilers for ARK Aberration, Extinction, and Genesis, so if you don't want to know the fates of certain characters who I haven't yet finished up in the survival stories, this is my only warning. Thank you to Stell and Triggerpuck for writing and editing this video respectively, and without further ado, let's talk a little bit about that same old self-absorbed ball of dirt, Earth. Yes, that's a Santiago quote. Extinction is a DLC that has been out for 4.5 years. Since then, many players have mastered the ruins of Earth, tamed its fantastical creatures, and slain the titans plaguing it. But what if I told you that Extinction wasn't the end of our time on Earth? What if I told you that our mission to save the planet, the Reseed Protocol, brought with it another greater threat that has the potential to doom not only our home, but the entire universe itself? What if I told you it was Rockwell? Opposite to Sanctuary is a mysterious facility known as ARAT Prime, enveloped in darkness due to the tidal locking of Earth. We hear about it twice in Diana Altares' logs. In Extinction, in log 19, she first becomes aware of the facility after uncovering some references to it within the control center of the ARKs. And then the second instance is in log 29, after she and Mei bury the last of their fallen comrades, stating, quote, "Now it's just me, Mei Yin, and the long road ahead." Well, and the faceless presence that's guiding us down that road, of course. I've already started to feel the tugs pulling me toward ARAT Prime. If you don't know who this disembodied voice is, it's Helena Walker in her Homo Deus form, also known as the One Who Waits. You may be wondering how ARAT Prime is important or relevant to the cosmic threat that is Sir Redmond Rockwell. If you played Extinction when it was first released, you may have noticed these long strings of what are called Ascension code, a fully decipherable language that's also present on the island and in certain Explorer notes, namely the One Who Waits and HLNAs. But to avoid having to say Ascension code 10 billion times, I'll just shorten it to text. Prior to their removal, the strings of text found in Sanctuary could be automatically translated via use of a tech helmet. Although a few of the encryptions appear to be damaged, some of them give us more insight into ARAT Prime's past. Though some encryptions repeat when arranged in order, they read, "A priority communication received. ARAT Prime is locked down. ARAT Prime is locked down. Emergency launch sequence initiated. ARAT Prime is locked down. Proceed to the nearest shelter. ARAT Prime has gone silent. Launch was not confirmed." This is a level 5 alert. ARAT Prime has gone silent. In their full context, the text tell a story through several warning and distress signals. Sanctuary's final moments, citizens fleeing for safety as their city is beset by hostile forces, losing contact with ARAT Prime shortly afterwards. If you haven't formed a connection yet, ARAT Prime is where the Genesis ship launched, as inferred by the aforementioned distress signals. This statement only gains more credibility when you go back and rewatch the second ARK 2 trailer. In it, Santiago's daughter Mika calls the final destination of the Genesis ship ARAT.
"All that I know from their Earth are the creatures they sent along with us. And here on ARAT..."
Simply put, ARAT Prime is where the colony ship launched from, while ARAT is the planet at which it was meant to arrive. Now that you know about ARAT Prime and some of its history, what important people do we know for sure have been there? Starting with Santiago da Costa. This is not to be confused with the Santiago we know from Aberration, but instead the Santiago in Genesis. Considering the fact that he oversaw the project, he had to have been to ARAT Prime sometime in the distant past. Though by the events of the Reseed Protocol, this Santiago in specific has long since died, only being brought back after the events of Genesis Part 2. We know from Genesis Chronicles 14 and 15 that after a long journey, Mei Yin and Diana successfully made it to ARAT Prime, where they opened a superluminal link which sent Helena into the Genesis simulation, where she made HLNA. We don't actually know what they did afterwards, but we do know that after the Reseed Protocol, Aberration in its crippled and broken state crashed near ARAT Prime, allowing Rockwell to reach it. Similarly to how Helena learned of the Genesis project in her time connected to the system as a Homo Deus, so too did Rockwell after becoming the overseer of Aberration. Pulling himself from the wreckage, he traveled to ARAT Prime before sending himself to Genesis using the same superluminal link the others had opened for Helena. With all this information in hand, a final DLC having us explore ARAT Prime is almost inevitable. Not only is there a sizable gap in the story between Extinction and Genesis, but with with the fates of May and Diana unclear and Rockwell free on Earth attempting to reach Genesis, this could potentially bridge the Extinction and Genesis DLCs together. Assuming that this DLC takes place at ARAT Prime, we can at least theorize how it'll look from not only a story perspective, but maybe even a gameplay one. Most paid DLCs originally feature 4 Explorer Note types, excluding Aberration, Extinction, and Gen 1. An ARAT Prime DLC could potentially feature May, Diana, and Rockwell, leaving us with one more unknown author. Helena Deus is an interesting case, as depending on where exactly this DLC would take place, she may or may not have already passed on from our universe entirely. HLNA obviously wouldn't be present as she was created to help with the Genesis mission and not whatever's happening on Earth, though maybe there could be another sort of AI that's located at ARAT Prime. Maybe some kind of super AI that's uploaded with all of human history designed to aid the survivors of the reseeded Earth, though that's just speculative. It's hard to say who or what the final Explorer Note author will be, but out of all of the candidates, Lee Mei-yin, Diana Alteris, and Sir Edmund Rockwell are all but confirmed. Knowing that Rockwell intends to find a way onto the Genesis ship in order to hijack it and its destination, it's likely that he would attempt to seize ARAT Prime too, though we know from his dialogue in Gen 2 that he doesn't want Earth.
This is to be mine.
Taking control of ARAT Prime would provide him the needed time and protection to ascertain a way there, supposing he isn't initially aware of the superluminal link. Maybe one of those 4 creatures we're receiving will act as another sentinel of Rockwell, similar to the Shadow May. More mutated flora and fauna, either as a result of Rockwell's experiments, the nearby wreckage of Aberration, or even some that are native to the ruins of ARAT Prime, may also make themselves known. We have no clue what could have festered in the dark during the tidal lock. Missions most likely wouldn't be present due to the aforementioned lack of HLNA, unless in our efforts to stop Rockwell, we can do them in an open world format spread across the map, similar to the hunt and race missions of Genesis, spending our precious hexagons at some sort of special hexagon terminal shop. The only problem I see with this is space on said map. We all know how annoying Genesis Part 1 was for building anywhere. Considering this DLC is exclusive to Survival Ascended, it may very well push the boundaries beyond what we've come to expect for ARK, or maybe it'll be disappointing for reasons we can only speculate on. The battle for ARAT Prime would be a race against the clock. If May and Diana stayed behind, possibly warned by Helena or Rockwell's impending arrival, they would need to find a way to stop him from accessing the Genesis ship, which we know wasn't successful, hence his almost complete takeover. The finale may show us making our way to Rockwell and the superluminal link as he attempts to escape through it. In the final confrontation, we would attempt to stop him there, and then, though unfortunately from Genesis we know that whatever we do to stop him will ultimately fail. This may even be where the stories of May and Diana end. Imagine a final confrontation against Rockwell, and for the safety of the universe, May is struck down, dying in Diana's arms, similarly to how she died in May's on Aberration. This would be a melancholy and fitting end for such a beloved, long-lasting character in the ARK lore. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that. For any of this, though, we'll only truly know once we hear more, and something tells me that it's going to be a while before we get any details. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Would you buy a DLC like this? Big thanks to Stel for writing and Trigger for editing. And before I end this video, allow me to talk about our sponsor, Gportal. If you're looking for your own ARK servers, Gportal is the way to go. They have great customer service and a simple user interface to get started and manage your servers. You can use my affiliate code below to get 10% off your next purchase. But with that said, thank you all again for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.